My dancer portrait series, PDC Squared, Portraits, Dancers, Companies, Choreographers, is a portrait series that I absolutely love photographing. It was created through a love-hate relationship. I fell in love with the dancer, my wife, and at the same time I fell in love with photographing dance. My relationship with it is that constant seeking of perfection, right? When I find so much beauty in imperfection. You combine that with pretty much every time starting out, whether I was assisting for a photographer, photographing for a dance company on my own, like as I've grown up as a photographer, as a dance photographer, as I've matured, nothing is worse than being during a dance photo shoot when the dancer like has their wings, torn off their back, the thing that makes them so special and so beautiful, dancing, and instead of having them dance in front of the camera or the video, like they have them basically doing a pose over and over and over again. And no matter how beautiful, how technically proficient and perfect that movement might be, the 12th time, the 10th time, maybe the first time, sometimes it happens too that way, it's so, it's not true. And in a world that is so anti-truth, so perfection seeking and losing that authenticity, that humanity of what makes art, dance, life, human beautiful, I've pursued trying to find authentic moments in my dance studio. I've pursued that in lots of different ways. First, with a little raffle barrel of questions, where every time a dancer comes in, they put a question about dance in the raffle barrel, and then they spin it. Every time they step into my photo studio, they write a question, put it down, but they also take a question out, and that barrel's already filled with dance questions from past dancers. And they read it, and they answer, and then they dance. Maybe it sounds cheesy, kind of is. In art, a little cheese must fall, right? But I think a dancer dancing in front of my camera, being mindful of dance in their lives, thinking about dance, thinking about the question they answered, that relationship, like maybe puts them in a more dancer-oriented mind. So while they're dancers dancing in front of my camera, they're also thinking about dance. Like, how authentic and meta is that, right? But that has grown because they brought friends in sometimes, and they have 2 dancers, sometimes 3 dancers. And that camaraderie, that dance life friends, bond was so amazing to have within the studio. It only increased those authentic moments. And what a part of dance, like how can you be a dancer? And how can I get a dance portrait of a dancer, without the dance culture, the dance community within them being there too, So like I started adding more dance friends, more group oriented portrait sessions. But then dancers create, or they're created upon, so how do I get a portrait of a dancer dancing while having them, being created upon? Well, we got to add a choreographer, right? So we've done that. And in adding a choreographer, I also wanted to add, a little bit of a life of what it is to create within life and living it. So getting a portrait of a choreographer creating, but also dealing with, life. Hence the game show, the questions, the answers, the ups, the downs, the disappointments, the successes, the wins, the losses, the whatevers, and using that to base off the creation. And I'm taking pictures the whole time. So I was taking portraits of dancers, now I'm taking portraits of choreographers, and now it's kind of happening all at the same time as they go through the creative process. So now I'm actually getting portraits of the creative process, like, it went for me, right? Didn't even expect it, awesome. The third thing or fourth thing, whatever I'm talking